is Matt Skinner, and I'm going to talk to you about your rights during police encounters. Probably the only thing that makes me more nervous than public speaking is talking to police officers. And I'm sure you guys know how it is, because we're all college students, we deal with police quite a bit. This should be relevant to anyone that drives a car or lives in a home. So, unless you're living in the dumpster or walking to school, which we do, but then listen up because it's pretty good. The overview, I'm talking about the Fourth Amendment, I'm talking about the Fifth Amendment, and I'm talking about two common situations, car and the home. Who here knows the Fourth Amendment? Anyone? Anyone take government?
Wasn't that search and seizure?
Yep. Basically states that police officers can't search you unless they have probable cause or you give them consent. The last one is a big deal. Anyone know the Fifth Amendment?
The right to not self-incriminate.
Yep. In other words, I plead the Fifth. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that if they've been in court or not. I've been in court. Two very common situations are in your car and at your home. And Alan Dershowitz from the Times-Union states that the Bill of Rights protects the rights of the innocent along with the guilty. So whether or not you're guilty or innocent, this will help you out. In the car. Basically, so you're speeding. Cop pulls you over. Whether or not you're going 60, 75, 120, speed limit could be 25. When the police officer comes up to you and asks you, do you know the speed limit? And you say, yeah, and they ask you how fast you're going. Do not, no matter what, even say anything, because if you say, oh, I was going 65 and it's a 45, you just gave up your Fifth Amendment right of self-incrimination. Bad news. If the cop believes that there's something in your car for whatever reason, they just decide out of nowhere that they want to search it. They ask you to step out of the vehicle. As you step out of the vehicle, lock the car behind you, shut the door. If they ask you why'd you lock the car, just say the habit. And then they can't search it because it's locked, obviously. Just don't lock your cars in there or lock your keys in there. Done that before too. So for example, before I knew about all this stuff that I was researching, I was driving home one night, it was a rainy night, came to a stop sign, and then started driving down the road. I had just been pulled over like a while back for speeding, so like my eyes were on the speeding. I was going 45 and 45, so I was okay. For some reason, I'm getting pulled over. Police officer pulls me over. I look in my rearview mirror, there are 3 cop cars. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I'm a little white kid, I have nothing to hide. Roll down the window, and officer says, give me your license registration. I'm like, okay, what's the problem, officer? He said, you were swerving over a double yellow. And I was like, okay. And there was another police officer at my passenger window. Rolled down that window, and he said, what'd you throw out of the window? We saw you throw something out of the window. I go, no, you didn't. And the police officer said, can you step out of the vehicle? We want to search it. And I said, okay, because I had nothing to hide. I got out. Turns out they found nothing because I had nothing. They searched me. Keep in mind this was rainy weather. It's just a bad situation because, for one, if they search your vehicle and break something, they're not liable because you gave them permission. So this is your Fourth Amendment right stating, giving them consent basically, like I gave them consent. If they were to have broken, they could have ripped out my car seats and they wouldn't have been responsible for that because I gave them permission to search. So that's just one example. Here's a video.
Most avoidable police searches occur not because police have probable cause, but because
because most people, like Darrell, get tricked or intimidated into consenting to search requests. Giving an officer consent to search automatically makes the search legal in the eyes of the law, and in most states, officers are not required to tell you about your right not to consent to a search request. So if you're pulled over by a police officer, do not try to figure out whether or not the officer has enough evidence to legally search you. If he has to ask, it probably means that he doesn't have evidence. You have nothing to lose by refusing to consent to search requests, and everything to lose if you do. If an officer searches you illegally and finds contraband, despite your refusal to consent, your lawyer can file a motion to suppress or throw out the evidence in court. If the judge agrees that the officer's search violated your constitutional rights, he'll grant the motion to suppress, your charges would then be dismissed, and you'd be free to go.
So that's more extreme because I'm sure not all of us are carrying drugs on us, but for those of us who are. In your home, you have a hosting responsibility. You need to know everyone that comes into your home, and you need to know if they have anything on them, because it is your fault if the police find drugs in your house. So you need to make sure that you know and you can get rid of it or not. When typically police come to your house because of a noise complaint, and usually it's from some neighbor who's old and tired and wants to sleep, and usually that noise complaint comes from you having a party. Well, typically police will come to you and they'll play games. They'll try to get into your house with any way possible, and you just have to remember your Fourth Amendment rights and your Fifth Amendment rights. Basically saying, I don't consent to a search of my home. And if they ask if there's alcohol or not, you do not have to say anything because of your rights. So when they come to the door, this video I'll actually state it, but go outside. It's one of the best things you can do if police show up at your home.
And she takes advantage of the all-important peephole. Upon seeing the officers, Valerie greets them outside and closes the door behind her.
What seems to be the problem? We just need to do a required routine check. Now, if everything's okay inside, could you go ahead and let us take a look?
Everything's under control, officers. Look, I know you're both just doing your jobs, but without a search warrant, I can't let you inside.
Again.
Without a search warrant, I can't let you inside.
And to touch a little note on that, there's no such thing as a required routine search for your home. It's in your rights. There's no such thing as a routine search. So don't let them trick you with that one. Robin Blumner from the St. Petersburg Times explains that looking suspicious is not enough for police to search your home. So when you're nervous, that doesn't give them probable cause to search. Or if you're being weird. So basically, thank you for, this is my presentation. Be safe while having fun. And I encourage you guys to check out the Citizen's Guide to Surviving Police Encounters. It's where I got a bulk of my research. And a lawyer is the one that created all that. I was the guy that speaks in the videos I did show you. And it's great information.